Hey guys, this is your practice video for Music by Ear 7. I have the template pulled up. You don't need to submit it, but I am making a little change, so I want to mark it on here to make it more clear. Rather than being responsible for the entire template, all I need is through here. So this is through, if it were notated the first ending. You'll sing this for me on numbers. You'll also notice that the template has no time signature and just stemless note heads. It's really hard to fit this interpretation into a steady meter, and that's not really its intention. So the good news for you is that when you sing this for me, you're just going to sing it on numbers without having to conduct. So no conducting required. Just sing it for me on numbers. Does not need to be from memory. You might want to jot it down on this as an aid. So let's talk about how to navigate it. You've got the first phrase there, first kind of mini phrase, and a key signature. So just from those first 4 notes and the key signature, you should have a pretty good idea as to what key we're in. So we are in G minor, which means if you're singing for me on scale degrees, you've got this nice octave on 5, and then you're spelling down the tonic triad. Let's use that tonic triad as an anchor for working out little bits of the next phrase. So here it is from the beginning. So I want you to focus on the beginning and end of that phrase and compare it to the beginning and end of that first 4-note little phrase of sorts. So it's from the beginning again. Now, hopefully you heard that the beginning and the end were actually the same. So it's like we cleaved this 4-note statement right there and stuck some stuff in the middle. So you start the second phrase on 5, and you end it again by descending through your tonic triad, 5, 3, 1. Now let's listen again, and I want you to listen for how we approach that tonic triad at the end of the second phrase. Do we come at it from above? Do we come at it from below? And intervallically. So I'll play it again, or if you want to see if you can remember it and just sing it inside your head, put me on pause and then come on back. This is from the beginning. So if you listen and you want to rewind and have another go at it, you'll hear that we actually approach the triad from above. And not just from above. Da, 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 da. So we are right above, right? So just a half step, which means that we're approaching this from scale degree 6. Let's look down at the second system, the third phrase. I'm going to play from the beginning again, and I want you to see how much of that third phrase is similar to something you've heard before. So this is from the beginning. I'm going to go ahead and stop there. That third phrase starts exactly like the second one. So again, I say this a lot, work smarter, not harder, right? So you've heard a lot of this third phrase already. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. This is where we get new stuff, right? So this is all the same as the second phrase. Now, when you get to the middle of that third phrase, you are going to have some chromatic pitches. And by chromatic, it's nothing crazy. Just remember that we're in a minor key and there are 3 different types of minor, right? So natural minor is the one that has no accidentals, but we can also play around with the other types of minor. And that is going to affect scale degrees 6 and 7. So keep that in mind as you're navigating this middle phrase there, that second system. Last thing I want to talk about is how this ends. So this is a first ending of a piece. So it's going to feel a little incomplete as we get to the end of that third system, because we're not really closing out the piece. There's more that comes afterwards. So I want you to think about incomplete phrases or things that require continuation. Harmonically, where does that normally leave us? If we're not on tonic and we're thinking about incomplete or open cadences or open phrase endings, a really good guess for where harmonically we might be is some flavor of a dominant. So as you're navigating that last phrase, that third system, think about that as we get to the very end of that third system. As you're trying to figure out what scale degrees we're on, it's going to feel unfinished, and that's okay. We don't end on tonic. So let that feel unfinished and use your harmonic and melodic anchor of 1 to figure out where we end, and use your power of deduction to what should be your best guesses for scale degrees if we're on some type of a dominant. Okay, so that's your crash course in that piece. Again, you'll sing it for me on numbers with no conducting, just through the end of that third system. All right, if you've got questions or want some extra practice, just hop on into my office hours and we can woodshed it and work out some problem solving tactics for the rest of it. All right, thanks guys, I'll see you soon.